Good day, everyone. So I'm here to discuss about the pollutants in the marine environment, one of our requirements in my graduate studies in advanced chemistry. So as you can see here, our topic for this morning or for today, we will discuss the pollutants in the marine environment. So the first that we are going to discuss, let's talk about the topic outline uh, that we can discuss on this moment. So the first one, we will talk about the sources and type of pollutants. The next one, we will have a transport and fate in the marine ecosystems. And number three, we will find out the different human health implications. So we will discuss the different effects specifically in our human health due to the negative activities that the human can do. And aside from that, in our number four, let's talk about the ecological impacts of marine environment, or what we call as the marine pollutants. And last but not the least, let's talk about the monitoring and assessment. So as you can see here, just allow me to introduce myself. I'm Mr. Romel Empinesa, your presenter for this morning. So let's talk about topic number one. So we are dealing with the sources and type of pollutants. So as you can see here on my presentation, we will have three learning objectives that we are going to attain. The first one, we will identify the biosources, either organic or inorganic pollutants in our marine environment, specifically in our agricultural runoff, urban runoff, atmospheric deposition, and marine transportation. And the next one, let's talk about the classified pollutants, specifically the petroleum, hydrocarbons, and pesticides. And last but not the least, we will need to describe the various sources of organic and organic pollutants in our marine environment. So at this point, let's talk about what is the definition of marine pollutants. So when we say marine pollutants, we are dealing with the different activities. Specifically, it encompasses with the plastic debris, oil spills, chemical contaminants that such as the pesticides and heavy metals came from the different human activities such as shipping and construction. So in connection with that, through the different activities that human can do, it will lead to the negative effect or devastating effects in our marine environment, such as biodiversity loss, and at the same time, we are dealing with soil erosion, and also it will lead to the habitat destructions that will have a big threat in human health. Specifically, let's talk about with the contaminated seafood and water. So, sino po ba dapat nating sisihin? So, the first one is tayo rin po mga tao. Why? Because tayo po ang gumagawa ng mga different activities na kinakasama po ng ating marine environment, specifically in our ecosystem or in our environment, such as throwing garbage in our sea or in our ocean. And at the same time, let's talk about the dynamite fishing that will lead to the extinctions of our species or organism. So as you can see here on my presentation, the sources and type of pollutants are as follow. The first one, let's talk about industrial discharge, agricultural runoff, and urban runoff. So let's talk about industrial discharge. So kung makikita po natin, dyan po papasok yung iba't ibang factories, iba't ibang buildings na kung saan marami po silang ginagawang activities na hindi natin nalalaman na there's some factories na may mga negative activities na ginagawa, such as nagtatapon po sila ng mga water pollutants or different chemicals in our ocean. Technically, those factories can also lead with our air pollution that will and have a negative impact when it comes to our climate. And also, let's talk about agricultural runoff. So, diyan po papasok yung iba't ibang chemicals na tinatapon po coming from different factories and industry. Ito yung tinatapon po sa ating oceans that will lead to have a biodiversity loss and at the same time habitat destruction, specifically yung mga fishes. Those are the organisms that we can see in our ocean, specifically the seafoods and also some fishes that will lead to the destruction of our coral reefs na kung saan ito po isa sa mga pangunahing tirahan ng ating mga living organism. And at the same time, when it comes to our urban runoff, so technically po, sa bawat bahay na meron po tayo, hindi natin maiwasan na magkaroon tayo ng mga wastes. So ano po nangyayari dyan? There's a tendency na yung mga tao po ay walang disiplina in a way that kung saan-saan na lang nila tinatapon ang kanilang basura, kung saan-saan nila sila nagsusunod ng basura, na kung saan pag ito po ay umulan, there's a possibility na ito po ay mapapunta sa ating oceans that will lead to the extinction of our species that we can see in our ocean. And aside from that, let's talk about the classification of pollutants. So the first one, we have a organic and organic pollutants. So let's talk about with the heavy metals. Kung makikita niyo po, there's a different heavy metals that we can see such as the lead, so rather nickel, mercury, copper, zinc, and many more. And when it comes to our organic pollutants, let's talk about the pesticides, herbicide, and also the organic solvents that have a big impact or have a devastating effect in our marine environment. So kapag yan po ay pinabayaan at nawalan po ng disiplina ang mga tao, especially yung ating mga industries, so there's have a big problem specifically in our marine environment. So aside from that, let's talk about inorganic pollutants. So as you can see here, we have heavy metals such as the mercury, chromium, zinc, and many more. And when it comes to our acids, let's talk about we have a sulfuric acid. And also, there's have a topic number 2. Let's talk about transport and fate in marine ecosystem. When it comes to our learning objectives, we need to explore the pathway. We will need to discuss the fate of pollutants in our marine environment. And last but not the least, we will need to explain and discuss the transport and fate in our marine ecosystem. So the first one, we will have a direct discharge na kung saan makikita po natin dyan yung mga atmospheric diffusion such as pollutants can be transported over long distance through the atmosphere and deposited into a marine ecosystem via rainfall. So technically, dyan po papasok yung tinatawag nating kakaroon po tayo ng acid rain. Bakit po nagkakaroon ng acid rain? Due to the negative activities na ginagawa po nating mga tao. So those are coming from industrial facilities. There's have a tendency na karoon po ng sewage treatment on our plant ships and offshore oil rigs. So kung makikita niyo po in my illustration, we will have a different factories, industries here in the Philippines so that we are vulnerable when it comes experiencing those kind of negative activities, specifically that will have a negative impact in our marine environment. So, how to lessen or to solve that particular problem? So, technically, kailangan po gawa natin yan ng paraan, specifically our government, na kung saan ay malesen natin yung ating mga air pollution, specifically in our factories. And at the same time, yung mga vehicles, yung mga sinusunog nating basura, may impact din po yun that have a big effect in our marine environment that will lead to contaminate or what we call as the pollutant of our marine environment. And aside from that, let's talk about runoff and surface water. So as you can see on my presentation, makikita po natin dyan ang maraming basura such as plastic, garbage, and many more. Bakit? Bakit po nagkakaroon ng ganyan? Due to the, what do you call this? The undiscipline of many people. Specifically, those are the person that are not responsible on their garbages and at the same time, hindi nila pinapahalagahan yung ecosystem na meron tayo. Like for example, sa sarili na lang natin. So kailangan maging disiplina tayo sa pagtapon ng mga basura at let's talk about sa mga 3 R's. We need to reuse, reduce, and recycle para po kahit papaano makakatulong po ito para hindi masyadong maapektuhan ang ating marine environment. And at the same time, para po hindi masyadong kumalat ang maraming basura. Kaya nga po, as of the moment, lalong-lalo na po sa mga public market natin na iniiwasan na po ang paggamit ng plastic. Okay? So, aside from that, let's talk about ocean currents. So technically, dyan po papasok yung mga plastic debris, oil spills, and persistent organic pollutants or what we call as the POPs to remote marine ecosystem. So technically, paano po pag nagkaroon ng ocean currents? So what will happen to our living organism? So the first one, there's a possibility that will lead extinction. So bakit mauubos ang ating mga species na makikita sa marine environment, specifically in our ocean? Technically, kapag contaminated po yung place na yon, so paano mabubuhay or magsusurvive ang isang living organism on that particular place kung medyo contaminated at madumi? And at the same time, there's a possibility na magkaroon ito ng epekto in our human health. Ito po ay kinonsume nating mga tao. Kasi when it comes to our oceans, we can see the different living organism na they are our basic needs such as fish, seafoods, and many more na kung saan ito po ay kinokonsume talaga natin. So kapag contaminated ang mga isda or seafoods na ating pagkukuhanan, so there's a possibility na magkaroon po tayo ng sakit, specifically the cancer. And aside from that, when it comes to runoff and surface water, kung makikita natin, as you can see here, let's talk about the pollutants can be transported over long distance with the ocean currents. And also, we will have a different fate of pollutants such as the adsorption, sedimentation, biodegradation, and biomagnification. So when it comes to the sedimentation, those are the heavy pollutants or particles that are accumulate in our marine sediments and also that have a big impact when it comes to our habitat of our living organism. When it comes to biodegradation, so let's talk about with uh, biodegradation. It is refers to the process of which organic substance can be broken down into smaller particles such as bacteria, fungi, algae, and many more. When it comes to our biomagnification, so let's talk about food web. So technically, kung makikita po natin, kapag patuloy po nating napabayaan ang ating marine environment, there's a possibility na umunti ng umunti po ang ating living organism. And aside from that, when it comes to topic number 3, let's talk about human health implications. So ano po yung mga epekto nito sa ating katawan? Pagpatuloy po na na-contaminated or na-contaminant ang ating ocean environment or specifically our ocean. So as you can see here, the first one, we need to explore the potential human health risks associated with exposure to organic and organic pollutants. Number two, we will need to discuss the pathway of human exposure. And last but not the least, let's talk about the reflect on the importance of knowing the implications of marine pollutants in the health of species. So, kailangan alamin po natin yung mga negative impacts kapag patuloy na nasira ang ating marine environment. So, the first one, let's talk about organic pollutants. So, kung makikita natin, we will have a health issues, including reproductive disorders, developmental abnormalities, immune system suppression, and cancer. So kapag pinabayaan nating contaminated yung mga ating area, specifically our oceans, what will happen to our living organism or species? So technically, yan po ay hindi na healthy. Lalo na po pag na-consume nating mga tao, there's a possibility na magkaroon po tayo ng iba't ibang uri ng sakit such as the cancer, reproductive disorders, and many health issues. So ano po ang kailangan natin gawin dyan? So we will need to have a good discipline and at the same time, we will need to uh, take care our ecosystem, specifically our marine environment. And at the same time, when it comes to our inorganic pollutants, those are pollutants can be accumulate in the health risk to human upon consumption, such as developing particularly of fetuses and young children. So kung makikita niyo po in my presentation, let's talk about this picture. So kapag po ang water ay polluted or contaminated, there's have a possibility po na maapektuhan yung ating mga internal organs. Specifically, yung mga young children and mga adult and old age people. So technically, kapag sila po ay nakapag-consume ng iba't ibang uh, species na contaminated, there's a possibility na magkaroon po sila ng iba't ibang sakit. So those are vulnerable in that particular cases. So those are pollutants came from inorganic pollutants such as the heavy metals, specifically the mercury, lead, cadmium, and arsenic. And aside from that, let's talk about the consumptions of contaminated seafood. So, kung makikita natin, isa po sa mga apekto niyan ay, syempre, there's a possibility po kapag ang isang species or specifically ang isang isda ay tumira or na lumaki sa contaminated places, meron na po siyang iba't ibang bacteria. And at the same time, siya po ay malaking epekto sa ating human health, specifically in our internal organ. So, as is stated on my presentation, when humans consume contaminated seafood, they ingest these pollutants leading to bioaccumulation in their bodies. And aside from that, This can be resolved in the acute effects such as gastrointestinal distress, neurological symptoms such as the cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and neurological disorders. So technically, una-una po maapektuhan dyan yung ating mga cardiovascular system and organs, and our neurological neurological bodies. So when it comes to recreational activities, tama naman po yun. Ang ating oceans or marine environment are one of the needs of our country because through with that we can engage different tourist spot or what we call as we will do different recreational activities such as swimming, surfing, and diving polluted and diving polluted marine waters may inadvertently ingest or come into contact with pollutants. So technically, paano po tayo makaka-engage or makakapahikayat ng iba't ibang turista kung ang ating pong marine environment ay contaminated at hindi maganda. So we will need to practice a good discipline and be responsible to take care of our oceans so that we will promote the beauty of different places that we can see here in the Philippines, specifically in our marine environment. And at the same time, let's talk about the pathways of human exposure and health effects. So kung makikita po natin, let's talk about the importance of knowing implication of marine pollutants in the species health. So bakit mahalaga na malaman natin na ito ay merong effects in our human health? So the first one, kung ating pong pababayaan ang ating marine species, that will have big or devastating effect in our human health. But also, we will need to know that have a profound implication to the health of marine species. Specifically, paano po sila makakapag-survive? Paano po sila mabubuhay on that particular places kung yung location pong yun ay contaminated na dahil sa mga negative activities na ginagawa nating mga tao. So topic number 4, let's talk about ecological impact. So when it comes to our learning objectives, we will need to describe the ecological impacts of organic and organic pollutants on marine organism. Number 2, we will need to discuss the effect on biodiversity, species interactions, reproductive success, and ecosystem function. So aside from that, kung mapapansin po natin, we will dealing with the marine organisms that can be pollutants can have a direct and indirect effects on marine organisms such as mortality, reduced growth rates, and physiological abnormalities. Kung makikita natin, kung ang isang organism po ay nakatira sa contaminated area, paano sila mag-grow faster? Paano sila magiging healthy? Paano sila makakasurvive on that particular places kung ito po ay polluted and contaminated? So, aside from that, we will need to talk about the habitats. So, kung patuloy pa natin sinisira ang ating marine environment or specifically our oceans, so saan po sila maninirahan? Saan po sila magkakaroon ng safe place in order for them to survive for daily life? So, as you can see here, habitats, pollutants can alter marine habitats by disrupting physical and chemical processes. So, when it comes to this, saan po sila, where our organism or species can live kung patuloy po natin ginagawa yung mga negative activities such as dynamite fishing, throwing garbage in our ocean, and at the same time, different chemicals came from different industries and factories. So, in connection with that, how does different organisms survive on that particular places kung patuloy po natin sinisira ang kanilang habitat or shelter? And aside from that, let's talk about the ecosystem. So kung mapapansin natin, we will have a eutrophication, causing oxygen depletion and creating dead zones where marine life cannot survive. So technically, when it comes to eutrophication, kapag patuloy po nating nasira ang ating marine environment, paano po sila makakasurvive? How the organism survive and adapt on that particular environment or location if those locations are contaminated. And aside from that, when it comes to our monitoring and assessment, ano po yung kailangan natin gawin? What are the different plans that we will do in order to solve that particular problem? So when it comes to our learning objectives, we will need to discuss the approaches and different methods for monitoring and assessing level of organic and inorganic pollutants. Number 2, we will need to highlight the importance of long-term monitoring programs And last but not the least, we will need to reflect the importance of monitoring and assessment in the pollutants in the marine environment. So number one, let's talk about water sampling. So these water samplings are needed by different researchers, scientists, and different chemists as well. But why? Because through this analysis, we will need to undergo some experiment and observation our laboratory. So as you can see here in my presentation, this water sampling analysis are essential for monitoring pollutant levels in marine environments. Okay, bakit kailangan natin siyang i-assess? Bakit natin kailangan ng water sampling? In order to identify if those waters are contaminated or not. So in connection with that, through the help of different researchers, this involves collecting water samples from various locations and depths followed by laboratory analysis to quantify concentrations of pollutants such as heavy metals, organic compounds, and nutrients. And aside from that, we will need to assess the sediment sampling. So when we do sediment samplings, those are sediments that came from sink for many pollutants in order for us to assessing contamination level in marine ecosystem. So aalamin natin kung ang area pong yun ay fully contaminated na through the sediment sampling. So those are one of the approaches and methods for monitoring and assessing pollutants. And the next one, we will have biological monitoring. So when we say biological monitoring, we will dealing with the different assessment of biological variables such as the algae, mollusks, fish, and as our indicators of environmental pollution. By analyzing the tissues or body of fluids of this organism, the researchers can assess pollutant levels and their effects on the ecosystem health. So in connection with that, through the help of biological monitoring, makakatulong ito in order to identify kung yung bang organism na yun ay fully contaminated or not. And specifically, we will identify if that area are fully contaminated when it comes to biological monitoring of water quality. And at the same time, one of the approaches or the importance of this is the long-term monitoring program. So kailangan po ay pinaghahandaan talaga ito ng ating government. Hindi lamang kakandak sila today and at the same time, ang susunod nito ay susunod ng buwan. Hindi. Kailangan po ay regular nagkakaroon ng monitoring and assessing the water quality. So as you can see here, the long-term monitoring programs, we will need to say that these programs are essential for tracking trends in pollutant level over time and assessing the effectiveness of pollution control measures. So, through the help of this monitoring and assessment, aalamin natin kung effective ba yung mga ginagawa ng ating gobyerno in order for us to lessen or to avoid the different marine pollutants. So, kapag ito po ay naging successful yung kanilang programa, so ito ay gagamitin nila every day so that we will avoid or lessen some contaminated marine environment. So, aside from that, we will have a biomonitoring techniques. So, kung makikita natin, meron po tayong iba't ibang pamamaraan. So, we have a gene expression profile, the classes of the related genes, the target validation, or what we call as our target drug discovery, the biomarkers, and many more. So, biomonitoring techniques, it is refers to the biomarkers such as enzyme activity, gene expression, and reproductive success. The researchers can assess the sublethal effects of pollution and identify early warning signs of environmental degradation. So meaning to say, through the help of biomonitoring techniques, malalaman natin kung ano yung mga posibleng epekto nito, not only in our human health, but also in our ecosystem, especially in our marine environment. And as last, also, when it comes to the importance of this, let's talk about environmental risks and assessments. Bakit kailangan natin i-assess? Bakit natin kailangan i-identify ang iba't ibang problems in our marine environment in order for us to solve that particular problems so that we will avoid the different habitat destruction, the biodiversity loss, and at the same time, the soil erosion and different issues na pwede mangyari po in our society. So environmental risk assessment are evaluated or we will need to evaluate the potential harm caused by pollutants to marine ecosystem and human health. So technically, Kapag yan po ay patuloy na pinabayaan ng mga tao at nawalan sila ng disiplina when it comes to dealing and take care our marine environment or specifically our ocean, so tayo din po ang maaapektuhan. Una-una, maaari po makakuha tayo ng iba't ibang uri ng sakit, specifically the cancer. And at the same time, when it comes to our recreational activities, paano natin makakandak ang iba't ibang recreational activities kung ang ating area or our oceans are fully contaminated. And at the same time, when it comes to uh, uh, on how to survive our basic needs. Bakit? Kasi sa dagat, dyan po tayo kumukuha ng ating mga pangunahing hanap buhay. And at the same time, nagiging pinagkukuha na po din ito ng ating mga basic needs, yung mga ating kinakain. So kapag pinabayaan po yan, there's a possibility na magkakaroon po tayo ng extinction when it comes to living organism, and at the same time, there's a possibility na hindi po umunlad ang ating bansa. And also, when it comes to environmental risk assessment, we will need to assess the different factors such as the toxicity, the ecological sensitivity, and also we will need to determine the likelihood and severity of adverse effect. Technically, kapag pinabayaan natin ang ating ocean, so saan na tayo kukuha ng ating mga pangunahing hanap buhay? And at the same time, saan tayo kukuha ng mga pang-araw-araw nating kakainin? Kasi ang isda ay isa sa mga pangangailangan ng tao kasi marami po tayong minerals and at the same time, proteins na makukuha po on that particular species. And also, we will dealing with the importance of monitoring and assessment in marine pollution. So, it is stated that the monitoring and assessment play a crucial role in understanding the extent and impacts of pollution in the marine environment. So, tama naman yun. Pag patuloy na naging contaminated yung ating area or ating oceans, so ano magiging possible effects or impact nito in our human? So, unang-una, in our human health we will get different illness and diseases. If we consume different species na came from contaminated area. Number two, when it comes to our livelihood, saan tayo kukuha ng ating mga pangunahing hanap buhay kapag ang ating locations or ating marine environment ay fully contaminated. And at the same time, paano natin mapupromote ang ating tourism kung patuloy na pumapangit ang ating marine environment. And lastly, if we will if we are irresponsible in taking care our marine environment, there's a possibility na unti-unting masisira ang ating ecosystem. So, in connection with that, when it comes to reliable data, nandyan po ang ating researchers na sila ay responsible to assess the different water pollutants. So, we will need to have a good decision making, policy development to protect marine ecosystem and human health. So tama po 'yon. So our government needs a program, an intervention programs, a plan, and at the same time different strategies na gagawin, and also they will need to have a good decision making on how to lessen or to solve that particular problem. Kasi when it comes to our marine environment are essential in promoting a good quality of tourism, and at the same time it is also essential or significant role in our different livelihood activities. So nandyan yung different programs na nagmo-monitor, nag-a-assess, nagagawa ng iba't ibang activities para mapaganda ang ating marine ecosystem or marine environment. So when it comes to this, we will have a threats and guide when it comes to adaptive management strategies to address them effectively. So tama yun, kailangan pag-isipan mabuti, kailangan pag-aralan mabuti, mag-conduct ng iba't ibang research para may malaking contribution to solve that particular problem, specifically the marine pollution problem. When it comes to documentation, I have here different pictures showing the marine pollutant in our environment. So kung pagpatuloy po natin pinabayaan ang ating marine ecosystem, so ganyan po ang possibility na mangyari. Kapag tayo ay naging walang disiplina when it comes to dealing with our ecosystem, yeah, those are just a representation or examples na posible pong mangyari or nararanasan po natin as of the moment. So, we yes, this have a specific there's have a chance na maaari pong mamatay ang ating iba't ibang living organisms na matatagpuan sa ocean. due to the fully contaminated oceans. So when it comes to references, yan po yung aking pinagkuhanan. So dito, ano po yung lesson na pwede natin makuha? We will need to take care our environment or specifically our living or ecosystem, specifically in our ocean. And at the same time, we will need to have a good discipline in dealing and take care when it comes to dealing and assessing our marine environment. So, nasa tao rin po yun kung paano nating pahalagahan at alagaan ang ating marine ecosystem. So kapag tayo po ay naging pabaya, technically, there's a possibility na maranasan po natin ang iba't ibang problems such as there's have a big effect in our human health, in our recreational activities, in our livelihood programs, and at the same time, there's a possibility na magkaroon po ng extinction of our living organism. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Sir or Dr. Mario A. Kuchamat, our professor, for for allowing me to discuss this one of the interesting lessons in this subject. Thank you so much and God bless.